Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris. This is Football Manager 2024, breaking the game one last time. And we're here for a final, the Carabao Cup final. Something we've won in real life. I was there for it. It was a fantastic occasion. It didn't really feel like a cup final to me. It's really weird. It's the biggest trophy we've actually ever won. Um, and yeah, it came at the high point of our existence, really, our run in the Premier League, where we thrilled and excited. We had so many great players, and we did so well. Um, and this took us into Europe, and we beat Valencia and so on. It was just magical at that time before we overspent on average players, kind of took big risks on players we didn't need to take risks on, and went away from what had worked for us for decades. And also in the last few years to get us promoted and actually get us established in the Premier League. As well as a couple of big injuries like Michu. That was a real shame. And then compounding the mistakes of selling players to big clubs instead of trying to fight to keep them. And I know that's a losing battle half the time. But we didn't really replace those big players. And then when they failed at bigger clubs, we bought them back for almost as much as they paid us for them. So we got a worse version of an older player that had suffered injuries in both Andre Ayew's case and Wilfred Boney's case. Don't really know what the sense of that was. But yeah, so total mismanagement top to bottom kind of threw us out. But this was at our peak. But sadly, it was an occasion for the neutral, and it was occasion for two teams that were really kind of surprised to be there at some level. Because it was us and Bradford. We were just much better than Bradford at that stage, and we beat them 5-0, and it didn't really feel like a cup game. The Reading game to get promoted in the playoff final for the championship was very much more of an occasion for me. I was there for that as well at Wembley. I was right on the halfway line for that one. Like two or three Swans fans, I think. No, I think it was more than that. I think it was like 5 or 6 seats to my left. And then there was the separation, and the Reading fans were right there. So it definitely felt that building into the occasion. And to go 2-0 up in that game and get pegged back and some just last gasp defending, and two different times, one with a toe and one with a heel, defenders blocked shots that would have gone in. And they're at full stretch now, just heroics from the players. The atmosphere was amazing. We went up 2-0. The players was bouncing for us. They came back into the game. Should have taken a 3-2 lead, to be fair. Missed a glorious header, I think it was. I can't remember his name. I can't actually remember his name, though. But a centre back, and actually wanted us to buy him from Reading at the time when we got promoted. So I think he had a year left, and since then he hasn't done well. I can't remember his name for the life of me. But yeah, that was the occasion. Their fans were on top, and then it's all nervy, and we kind of get goals late on and seal it, and everything's great. I didn't really get in the Carabao Cup, so I'm hoping that this is more of a fun game for that. But again, we don't really need to win it unless we're just winning all trophies this season, which would be what would this be? The sextuple, I guess. Yeah, it would be. It would be the quadruple if you were to discount the Community Shield and UEFA Super Cup. Lots of people do, I understand that, but ultimately we would win the 6 trophies this year if we won this and then followed up Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup. FA Cup's the only one we haven't won of that list in this save, apart from the Carabao Cup, which would be no, but we have won it in our history, so we don't need to win it again, is kind of the point. I'm going with a semi-strong squad. It's our starting midfield. It's our starting centre-backs. I'm actually going to put Trafford in net because it's a cup game. Even though he's only a backup, I feel we got to give him a shot, especially if I'm going to sell him in the summer, which I think I might do. So I really want to fast track Andre into the first team. So I think he's going to be sitting on the bench next season. So yeah, I think it's right to bring Trafford in. We've got some yellow card players that I'm not going to risk a booking carrying over into the league, even though I think it doesn't. I just rather make sure, and if not having Frimpong, Mosquera, Velasco is what costs us this game, then that's what costs us this game. That's fine. Coxell and Cameron Humphreys coming back from injury. We're okay. Callum King can play right back as well as centre back. So can Di Baptista, but not as good. But I definitely cover the whole back four, the whole midfield, and Murphy can also play as a striker. Not great finishing, but he's got everything else. So technically we would have extra strikers up top too. So I don't feel too bad about the lineup or the way we're playing or anything like that. I'm going to sit on cautious. I really think that West Ham are going to come and park the bus and counter us out wide. Their main danger man is their left winger. Kennedy. Martin Kennedy? Sounds about right. I believe it begins with an M, but Kennedy is definitely their main threat. So, with all that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into this one. Nervous for some reason. It's not a must-win. It's not something that we badly need to do. Alan Kennedy. Alan Kennedy is their star man. Callum Marshall's not bad as well up front. I think they're just going 4-4-2. I think they're going 4-4-2. Hold on. Manson in goal. So Demiral and Reguilon would be their fullbacks. To Debo Bamba at the back. Paqueta in midfield alongside Ward-Prowse. So he's going to be like a box-to-box, or maybe more like a playmaker in midfield. And Ward-Prowse is going to sit and defend, possibly sweep in front of the defence. Daniel James, former Swan, out on the right-hand side. Alan Kennedy on the left-hand side. Yilmaz possibly dropping off but staying central. And Callum Marshall running out wide, because that's kind of his game a little bit. That's what I've seen previously in other matches. So I think that's kind of what they're going to do. I am a little surprised that there's no Marcus Edwards, but Daniel James coming in does make sense as a former Swan. And Kennedy was going to come back for this game no matter what. So, yeah, I think it's all about the wingers. Reguilon likes to come forward. Demiral likes to come forward. Off the bench, they can come with Ramsey, Edwards, Wan-Bissaka. And if they need a target man to pump the balls up to, Fulkrug is there. So deceptively, a very dangerous side. I think expectations. We'll start with expectations. So Wembley, West Ham, they are sitting 4-4-2. Paqueta is slightly forward. That's what I expected. And I do believe their strikers are also set up that way with him dropping a little deeper and him kind of going sideline to sideline, finding space. So he'll drop in. Yeah, it's interesting. It's going to be interesting because the wingers are going to be just running wide with the ball all game. And these two are going to be supporting them, which is really going to test my midfielders. If they're not disciplined, if they don't track back, we're in deep trouble. I'll see how it goes, but I might want to go to full-back support. It's a free kick. Who's on this? Dominic Szoboszlai. Okay. Well, apparently we don't get to see a highlight. But yeah, I'm not going to allow them to counter me. I don't think that's something that is in my interest whatsoever. That was great from Szoboszlai. And Kennelly gets the ball there. Yeah, I don't... Oh, I don't love that. Oh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? Am I going to swap from advance forwards? Yeah, I can already see how they're setting up. I know with the 4-4-2, they're not going to play offside trap, but they're going to step in front and nick all the balls to feet for my strikers. So I need my strikers to not really be playing off the shoulder so much. I think they need to roam. Can see it there, can see the way they're setting up. You see Ward-Prowse sweeping, you can see the fullbacks already pushing up. And you can see Alpa there with Marshall out wide. Like, it's just every single time it's going to be that way. They're going to try and create a mismatch on one flank and switch it over the other. And Kennedy's already off to one. Ooh. And they're going to reset really, really quickly. Is Emran onside? I think he is. That's going to be an interesting one. Yeah, it's a goal. I thought he was onside, and we will do the changes anyway. But yeah, it's not like they're going to step up for an offside trap, but they're going to leave gaps at the back and play a high enough line that if we're not disciplined, we are going to lose a couple of good opportunities to be an offside. Luckily, one side of the line was definitely lower than the other. So that's fine. Win that, and Mainu, and he can go, and he can reset. Emran's onside again. They've got an uneven line for twice in a row. Like, again, the centre-back and right-back to Deba and Captain Demiral just... They're not in line. This must be really tight, because they were not in line. You can see... You can see, though, they are reacting quicker. That was a mile offside. I wasn't really watching them. I was actually watching Elliot because I thought that's where the ball was going. But you can already see the imbalance in this line. It's coming down this left-hand side into deeper positions. They're pushing up on the right. What am I going to do with you? Maybe try and get him run out wide. Maybe... Ooh. Yeah, no, this is very interesting because I don't get asked these kind of questions very often in games. We don't normally face a 4-4-2 with very attacking kind of fullbacks and a defense that screens the way they're doing. And it's kind of an effective way to play against us. It really is. Oh, see, that was a bad ball. The ball there should have been inside to the midfielder. Suppose I guess back. I mean, Maino wanted it. That is one way of getting around the problem of those strikers going offside or defense stepping up. You can definitely see what they're trying to do. Dominic Szoboszlai went full send, and Kobbie Mainoo was like, nah, this is a final. This is mine. Gets a little lucky with the deflection, but just drives it in. And now if they want anything at this game, they've got to come at us. And we're not playing into their hands the way they're set up defensively. We're not set up in a comfortable way for them. And I'm quite glad about that. Bambo's always going to win that, but Canelli... Oh, that's just cheeky. That's just cheeky. That's just cheeky. I really thought he was going to hit this. He did the right thing. But in a final, especially if you don't score that many goals, I really thought he might try and cut inside. And they did show him outside. But yeah, they couldn't stop him. And so far, their line's been uneven, which is the only thing that has got us into this game. And now they're going to come at us. And we're just going to win every second ball from their clearances. We're going to get the ball in deep. We're going to work it into the box. And we're going to try and outplay them. But we're just going to sit. We're going to soak. We're not going to do anything crazy. We're not going to press them. We're not going to push them. We adjusted to their tactics. Oh, that's not what I meant to click. I didn't mean to click at all there. I just grabbed my mouse to move it. Okay, we seem to have rescued it. Yeah, Marcus Edwards on for Daniel James. That's kind of what I expected to happen there. To be honest with you, I expected Edwards on. You don't take off Kennedy. Because he is the true game winner in this squad. Canelli to Szoboszlai. And it's fought on just like that. Just like that. It's all kind of falling apart. Our strikers aren't doing what they expected them to do. And it's really pulling people out of position. Murillo's up there at the moment. Kennedy's come inside. He's not marking who he should. And then because Reguilón's coming inside now, he's not picking up his man. Tadibó's trying to gamble in the space. Demiral's gambling on the back post. But he is playing everyone on side. Which, to be fair, the direction he's looking is a line from him to the ball. And so his defenders kind of do look like maybe this is offside to him. I'm trying to give him help there. Yeah, Szoboszlai was good. He could have just rolled it into Ferguson as well. But he did what Canelli wouldn't do. Canelli's now got 2 assists. Szoboszlai's got 2 assists. And it's down this right-hand side where they are throwing their winger forward so much more that we are getting just into them. Elliot Furtado. Oh, Ferguson. Couldn't quite stay on side there. But yeah, he's done okay. He can come off for Coxhill. And I think what I want to do now is reset the fullbacks and the midfielders. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. 5 subs, 55 minutes, 4-0 up. I mean, I don't think there's going to be too much real danger of us throwing 4 goals away. Maybe. It's not impossible, but I don't think they've got what it takes to counteract our tactics in the same way that I counteracted theirs. Alvarez in. Okay, so that's like for like pretty much. Murphy, really nice. So Bosley to Coxall. Oh my god. I, if that's onside, that's a hell of an assist. That's beautiful, man. Nico into Murphy. That's a beautiful pass. And that's just weighted so nicely. And that's what Szoboszlai's third assist of the game. I'm not making that up, right? That's Szoboszlai's third assist of the game. Oh, we said Bradford, and I didn't want it to be another big battering 5-0, yada, yada, yada. Didn't think it would happen. Szoboszlai's on one. He's got a goal and 3 assists. Certain players have finals named after them. Stanley Matthews, Steven Gerrard. And like, this is the Szoboszlai final. This is the Szoboszlai final. That's it. Gets the opening 2 goals, or gets an assist in the opening 2 goals. Start the second half, gets the 4th goal, assists the 5th goal. Just magically get another goal, get another assist, I meant. Almost did. If Nico can get that header on target, that's probably a goal, and that's another assist for Szoboszlai. He's a 9.6. 10 minutes left to play. Just praise the team. Go to positive. Don't even soak pressure. Just, yeah. Szoboszlai. Oh, Nico. It's 2 chances. 2 chances to get him another assist. But yeah, Swansea City, 2 Carabao Cup finals, 2 wins, 2 5-0 victories. Yeah, okay. It's poetic, it's dumb, it's whatever. Did not expect it. And we lift the trophy once again. Yeah, this is Szoboszlai's final. Big bad Dom. Just dominated. Absolutely dominated. I haven't seen a player take over a game like that in a long, long time. And in a final, getting a goal, getting 3 assists, does not get you 10 out of 10. I feel that's a little harsh. I really feel that's a little harsh. And Nico Gonzalez, he puts one of those away. Like we said, that's it's probably there. A little harsh on them on the XG, but they didn't really create too much to worry me. They definitely did try and play the way I thought they would. Because it made sense with their players, and also just, I know it's going to be effective, and so they're going to keep doing it. They're not going to have a need to change unless I make them change the style they want to play. So I tried to set up a little differently to cope with them defensively, and then immediately realized that no, their attack. If I can't attack properly, we're just going to turn the ball over so much they're going to counter. And we badly needed to fix that. We kind of got lucky that their defensive line shape was abysmal for that first goal. And then we stopped them being able to shut us down so easily. Made the game a lot more complicated for their defenders. And got out of it with a win. So success is always important. That was fantastic. Should have singled out Szoboszlai. Technically a treble. Technically, Chelsea lose. They're 1-0 up through a penalty. Go up against 10 men. Almost immediately concede. And lose it late on. Why are Chelsea in 13th? This is why Chelsea are in 13th. That is abysmal. Villa get a nice little win, but struggle over Fulham, who, to be fair, look a little clearer than they were earlier in the season. And Spurs have a really tough time against Brentford, which is fair. Definitely a change in the guard this season, it feels like. But there we go. Community Shield, Super Cup, Carabao Cup. What a treble. Hey, I'm sure nobody out there will have any issue with that being named a treble or a famous treble. We're treble winners, baby. Nobody can argue that, right? Nobody can have a problem with those 3 trophies being spoken about as a treble. Surely not. Oh, I find it so amusing. There we are, 2012, 2013, 5-0 over Bradford. And it will read 2027, 2028, 5-0 over West Ham. And I feel bad because I realise probably West Ham haven't had a final in God knows how long. Like, how do I check? Yes, they haven't won something. It's 1980 they won the FA Cup. They won the Conference League recently, that's fair. But I'm also realising, though, they actually have never won the League Cup. Is that correct? That's so interesting to me. That is so interesting. Yeah, he's a nightmare. He hasn't scored. Doesn't really do much. He looks like he should be scoring. He looks pretty decent. Not the best in the world, surely, but for a team like West Ham, you feel he should be doing something. And to be fair, he scored a few goals in the Cup this season. But that's 6 goals in the last 4 years. Very limited minutes, poor performances, and he only scored 7 in League One for Plymouth the year before that. I would definitely expect him to do much better. And in real life, there's no way he'd be anywhere around 32 to 39 million. He'd be like a 4 million sale to get out the door. I do like him. It's just not working there. And I just don't feel that I'm really able to bring him on even as a backup striker. And Alan Kennedy is just really good. So I knew they'd double them 2 up on my right back, and I was right. I was right. In fact, he hasn't played too good either. He's a real good talent that just aren't working out for some reason. Jacob Ramsey, a handful of games, 45 million, not really being played. I mean, I can't be too harsh on them because they are doing well in the league, but yeah, 20, 23, 26, 22 with Baof as well, who isn't the best in the world, but probably should be playing more than he has last season and this season. Huh. They got Andre Santos. 6.5 million, a bargain for Andre Santos. And he's not even getting played. I mean, they're making it work, but I feel their recruitment's been quite nice, and they've actually got some very good young players, and then they're not playing those players. But again, it's kind of been working for them. They've leveled off. They are playing well. You can't really second guess them, but it just doesn't make sense to me. They started off above us, we switched early and back again. But since we were rising, that was it. When we passed them, they lost to... No, they beat Leeds? We beat Villa by more. Maybe this was... We had a game in hand on them at this point. Or something. I don't know. Interesting. But anyway, doesn't really matter. We win, they lose. And that's kind of all there is to that. And Big Bad Dom was phenom. And the only other player I really think needs to be singled out is Kennelly, who had a really tough day, kind of being singled out. But he kind of coped with it well. I don't mind that. Games are still coming thick and fast. But yeah. Yeah, the only ones really to notify you about, like I said, this Villa game, very bitty at the end. We were in control nice and early, though. Put the game to bed. They came back into it because we kind of went a bit more defensive. And yeah, they just kind of... I don't know. It was a weird one. It was a weird one. But I don't mind that. Them beating Liverpool away, Evan Ferguson, 93rd minute. And of course, Lamine Yamal opens the scoring against us. Of course he does. He also missed one like the 20th minute, somewhere on there. It was early on, I remember that. 23rd minute, he missed the penalty. So technically, this could have been another hat-trick, which we're getting good at. But yeah, not a great match. But I really feared after Yamal scored early and then we got a penalty. I thought, okay, this might be our way in. We miss it. I'm suddenly panicking. We actually go more defensive in the first half and counter-attack a little bit more to try and survive, which works. And then luckily we get a decent sort of few chances early on. We take the best one, really, early on. And then right at the death. A little more scrappy, but we do get there. We probably deserve it. But yeah, very, very much more of a scrappy game, that one. I didn't love that one. But it's fine. So it's a hat-trick of assists for Szoboszlai in the final. It's a hat-trick for Evan Ferguson. a hat-trick for Emran Shaley, an almost hat-trick if he had scored the penalty early on for Evan Ferguson in this game, a hat-trick in this game for Vitor Roque, and a hat-trick in the Spurs game for Evan Ferguson. Like, we're on a kind of bit of a meltdown for team play and just getting goals kind of everywhere right now, but highlighted by Ferguson, Roque, would have been Ferguson, Shaley, Ferguson, and Szoboszlai being an assist king. It's nice to have that support. It is nice to have that support. We've got the Champions League coming up. We've got Newcastle, big FA Cup game. I think now that we've won the EFL Cup, it's definitely one that we should try and win. And that will give us the Community Shield, the Super Cup, the Carabao Cup, and the FA Cup. That will give us all the, the 2 exhibitions and the 2 cups. And then that leaves the 2 big ones then, the Premier League, which we are currently, how many points? 14 clear with a game in hand. So it's at 9 games, so 27, so 89 points for Liverpool. 89 points for Liverpool. So that's 13. Still 5 wins away. But if Liverpool drop points in that spell, which they've got to play us, right? No, we just actually played them. Also, we get to play, so that's fine. That is 4 wins probably to finish above Arsenal, realistically. Still the 5th against Liverpool unless they drop points somewhere. And that's because not only did we beat them, but our Carabao Cup finalists also beat them. And I did watch the goals. And I did see kind of how they played. And I did see some of the movement and the way they kind of stepped up and defended. And I thought that was a great way to scout things. That was a phenomenal way to scout things. So I was very interested in how Liverpool will play. And that gave me such great insight for West Ham. But yeah, that's Liverpool's 2 losses. And that's just really opened up the gap from 8 points to 14. And we've got our game in hand, which is... yeah. Next time we meet up after that. I think we're kind of in sync after that for this Chelsea game. And it is every 3 days that we are going through things. Oh, top goal scorer, Yamal. That's rough. And Cameron gets 6 assists. That's interesting. And yeah, we got Chelsea next. They've just lost to Brighton. And it's Buonanotte. Isn't he on loan in real life to Chelsea now? Huh. That's interesting. That definitely is interesting. We're getting rid of some people. We've also got new deals for a few youngsters too. Like, yeah, look, we got 3 players on 200 grand. Frimpong's on 185. Harvey Elliott's on 180. Which also I want to point out, Dominic Szoboszlai was actually unhappy that Harvey Elliott got a new contract. Not because he wanted one, because he doesn't think Harvey's good enough. So a little bit of tension in the squad potentially. We talked him down. That's fine. Yeah, those are new deals. Furtado's gone up to 150. Cox off the bench, 150. I don't know who else got a new deal. Canelli got a new deal up to 75. That might be it as far as them. And there's a lot of players like Sean Rees just got his new deal. I think Britain got a new deal. Richard Robb, no, he hasn't got a new deal. Oh, Ollie Owen got a new deal. There's a couple other youngsters. We've got like 5 or 6 youngsters, new deals that needed them. But anyway, that's absolutely fine. Why is Luke Griffiths? You're not transfer listed, are you? Oh, Tottenham came in for him. That's why we did that. Tottenham wanted him. We were trying to scare him off. I was trying to figure out why I'd set a transfer value. I do it from time to time. You two have been set for release, haven't you? Yeah, that's fine. And you're on the transfer list, and you're on the transfer list. Yeah, that's fine. Absolutely fine. But yeah, so some new deals in place for some youngsters. Not the best in the world. I will say that. I know that Haywood got a new deal. It's only a 2-year deal, but he's got a new deal. I basically put him in line with Samford. Potentially long-term backups at goalie. And then I think there's a few more that got deals. Billy might have got a new deal. I don't think so. Luke, I think, actually got a new deal. I think he got a new deal. Sean got a new deal. Paul Britton got a new deal. Richard Roberts might have got a 2-year deal. I'm unsure on that one. Maybe that's it. Yeah, not the best in the world. I mean, we looked just recently at all the 5 stars in the team. It looks like it's a little lighter than it was. Ferguson is there, and then a bunch of players that aren't ready. I do think, though, next season, on the bench, maybe, and not like starting, a lot of these players would survive. So Ferguson up top would be absolutely fine, of course. I was going to say, could even start Koopman. Which you could. Oh, this is interesting. Let me build this and then I'll talk about it. Okay, so purely on potential then, 4.5 star or above, which does leave out a lot of good players. Does weaken the starting lineup a little bit. That midfield, a little shaky, but not too bad. Carrying Smith and Oliveira, we should be okay. We should be. And then Balde, King, not the best at the back, but also you take a look at them individually and like, I'm sure they would both kind of make this work, right? I'm pretty sure they'd make it work. But yeah, Mamadashvili, Frimpong, Furtado, they keep their spots. Then Balde and King would move in. Velasco really takes over at defense midfield, which he's been kind of moving into this season anyway. Mainu possibly more as an attacking player because Carl Smith is definitely a little more defensive minded, so he sits in that center spot. Oliveira can play. We stick with Ferguson and Rocker up top. This will make it a little tricky at times, but yeah, Balde, King, Smith, Oliveira. I don't love, but I think we survive and we can still win 90% of the matches using those players. And then the bench players we got, Andre, Lasser, Di Battista, a left back, which we don't have at 4.5 stars apparently, which does annoy me because Luke Griffiths was one until very recently. I mean, he would have to sit in that spot for right now, to be fair. He would have to sit there. So, yeah. Centre back, could play right back. He's a left back. Yeah, Callum could play right back a little better. Yeah. Irregardless, anyway, it's fine. Who am I missing? Who am I missing at centre back? Balde, King, Di Battista, Laced, nobody. Okay, that's fine. I had a bit of a weird moment there. Nico, Dom, Philip Murphy, and then Waller Morris, not the best, but also kind of not the worst. It says he's National League. You look at him and I was going to say he doesn't look National League. He kind of does. He does look like he has the potential. I'm not sure I believe that. And I wonder if that's 5-star potential as a winger. For some reason, he's being judged as a winger, even though he's a striker. Yeah. For 828. Zayden does come in. Zayden does come in. I feel good about that midfield then. And we can double up knowing that Dom could play striker in a pinch. Philip Murphy can also play. And Waller looks really good. Injury prone, a little shorter. Doesn't quite have the movement or dribbling. It's weird. I feel like striker's been our strength forever, and now you start to question that slightly just because of the depth. Yeah, just because of the depth. Oh, because I missed out Koopman. How did I miss out Koopman? That makes that feel a lot better up top. But yeah, then you are getting rid of all these 4-stars, which I would say is our depth, which is fine. Because you've got a bunch of first-team players I can get rid of. I've got another player up top, which I'm not married to. Coxall, I'm not married to, but I think he's way better, and he is domestic, so we can keep hold of him. But yeah, Coxall, Griffiths, Jones, and Sean Rees are extra players to add into these lineups. Plus Gary Morris. I really wonder what his potential actually is. He looks really good as a winger. I just feel that's one I should probably try and sell. I just feel that's one I should probably try and sell. And if I do get big bids in for Nico, I've got Zayden coming. If I got bids in for Ferguson, well, Coxall can slide in to that list. And then in midfield, Zabozlai. And I don't know who else. Zabozlai, Nico. Maybe one more? Yeah. All that to say, I don't think we need to buy or sell much. We're really good now if we keep it that way. And if we make the changes, I don't think the drop-off is terrible. And the extra game time to those young players will make them develop a lot better and a lot quicker. And that should put us in a really good position. So yeah, I think we're about 5 games out from winning the league, we said, right? So Chelsea, West Ham away, Burnley at home, Bournemouth at home. That would be lovely to win it at home to Bournemouth on April Fool's Day. That would be fantastic. Brighton away is a little tricky, but if we need points by a point, then so be it. And then if we do need anything after that, Brentford, Arsenal, there'll probably only be a point needed out of those games. And then Fulham at home just to kind of put the matter at bed. Ipswich away, Everton at home. It's not exactly tough. We should get it done a lot sooner. So it's the FA Cup and the Champions League really to focus on. I think that's where we're at. John Owen. I'm a little disappointed. I really thought he would make it, to be fair. When he came through, felt that maybe, just maybe, he could do it. Because he had the physicals, he had high determination. He hasn't really developed since he came in. And his potential has gone down from like 3.5 or 4 star all the way down to 1.5. Yeah. Yeah. And that's something I kind of want to look at right now as well, is like proper youth academy players. Not only who's here now, but who do I think will survive here? And so if I'm looking at like 2 seasons to go, maybe Trafford this year, maybe sell Mamadashvili, Andre becomes number 1. Steve Hayward becomes our backup, and our first academy graduate on this list, Aaron Sanford, also gets a shot as the 3rd goalkeeper in that case. I don't hate that. I think that's good at goalie. A right back. Actually, I want to do it that way round. A right back is a chance Kennelly is starter, because the young right back won't even have come in yet. But that also gives me Ikena, who probably makes it. And Count King is not a right back, but he did come through our youth academy, so he does make the list. You were bought from Southampton. Nope, Portsmouth. We signed one from Southampton and one from Portsmouth. I can pretty much guarantee I'm going to get those confused, but he came from Portsmouth. Okay. That's not bad, really. But they're not actually from the youth academy, so Ikena would be at that point, right? So I guess I'm doing that because it's just about youth academy prospects. Furtado was brought in. Luke Griffith was brought in from Southampton. To be fair, kind of thought David would have dropped off by now, but he hasn't. Kudos to him. He might still make it. And then Ben Reynolds, who's probably better centre back than left back, for sure, but might actually make the bench as a backup left back. if we were only doing academy. Because centre-back's very tough to get into. It does give us Callum King and possibly one of the only ones from the first intake in the championship. And to be fair, he's still not broken into the first team yet. Still growing really well. But he hasn't broken in yet. So King, Di Baptista, then I'm immediately in on Carl Smith. And Billy came through the academy. So he could technically sit on this bench. Bought in all of those. Yeah. Murphy's Reading. I really hate that being there. Yeah, Reading. Okay. That's what I thought. All of these are academy. Gething's academy. Kwansuk's academy. Gary's academy. Sean is academy. Lucas is academy. Yeah. So I would go Lucas. I guess Sean. Gareth. Sorry, Gary and Gethin. There. Nine determination. Inconsistent injury prone. Yeah, I 3-star potential too, which I don't want to go down to on this. Otherwise, Britton and Roberts would also make it. See, if we just stick to 3.5 stars, which again is probably better to do it this way then. In that case, and then attackers, this is where we've had a lot of good people through that aren't really working out. And I'm upset by it. I am upset by it. So we've already had to sell 2 or 3, and I was convinced Fletcher was going to be great, and he's just not. I'm upset by that one. I am upset by that one. So really, it's Ollie Owen, who I don't even see as a starter, but technically makes this list, and so does Gary Morris, even though I don't love Gary Morris. So much so I would not include him, and I would force Ollie on the bench, because I just never see him in that position. And we actually come up with quite a lot of academy graduates that can still make the team in that case. Samford isn't 3.5, so technically we get rid of him. But the only player we have failed to bring through at all through the youth academy is striker. We've had 3 good goalkeepers, one of which is a 3-star, one's a 3.5. And I sold the other one that was a 4-star that I'm pretty sure was never going to get the 4-star. Our best right back to have come through the academy is Akena, who looks like a backup. Centre backs, great. And we sold Newbie, right? What's Newbie up to? Has he done anything yet? Yeah, he came off the bench, couple of cup games, couple of European games. Good in Europe. Struggling that league game. Hasn't been called up yet. Okay. But King and Di Battista still work. David Jones looks like a backup too. So really, backup goalie, backup left back, right back. Potential starting centre backs. We've just bought better, but potentially they could be, even for a team as great as us right now, they could be starting centre backs from next season onwards. Carl Smith isn't that far away from the team, and mind-bogglingly, is the only 5-star player that's held that 5-star so far. Jones and Reese, a little surprised on Sean Reese, to be fair. And Gary Jones okay as well in midfield. That's been quite nice. Gethin and Kwang Suk also nice depth. Not really much in the way of stars. But again, 2 centre-backs and a defensive midfielder kind of seems to be a pattern, doesn't it? Definitely seems to be a pattern. And very little up front. Backup centre-backs, backup striker, backup. Just, yeah. Yeah. Can even do this. Because that's kind of more what it is. That's kind of more what it is. I guess Gary would also have to go on the bench for being not even a 4-star. So 2 4-star midfielders could potentially start. The defensive midfielders are 5-star. 2 centre-backs are 4.5-star. And then a bench of a goalkeeper, centre-back, left-back, right-back, defensive midfielder, technically. 3 midfielders and a striker. That kind of feels there, yeah. We've had 2 golden generations. And even our worst intake had 3 5-star prospects. 3 5-star prospects coming through. But the game lies to you. The game does lie to you, and people do fall off. Yeah. I'm trying to think of another challenge where it would be like with a full academy first team squad, so like 22 players. And I'm looking at it, and I don't know if I could do it if I wanted to. I don't know, because, again, a backline might be okay. It's kind of low ability right now, but it's kind of okay. Premier League, Champions League, goalkeeping. Don't know. Right back's kind of fine. It's a little weak, but it's fine. David Jones, it's kind of fine. You need very little there. 6'6" Callum is fine. 6'3", more well-rounded Alex is absolutely fine. Carl Smith is absolutely fine in defensive midfield. Lucas isn't bad. Might struggle across the whole season, but he's definitely not bad. Sean, again, isn't bad. And that'll give me backups of Ben. Billy's a little raw. Gethin's very raw. Kwan Suk isn't the worst. Gary, limited, but isn't the worst. And Ollie, I don't mind. Yeah, it's definitely not that bad. We just need actual strikers to come in. Just need strikers to come in. Guess he would slide in there. Yeah. I do like doing that and kind of visualizing my team. That's kind of how I decide who I'm selling. Murphy's just not for sale. Murphy's just not for sale. Murphy's just not for sale. And yeah, a little bit of an interesting game, but Ferguson and Bergvall kind of running the game, and Coxall with a couple of late ones. Yeah, don't mind that. Absolutely battered Chelsea. Frimpong does get a little knock. Victor Roque might be coming back soon. I'm a little disappointed we conceded, because that would have been another clean sheet for Mamadashvili. And he's closing in on the club and the league record. I think they're two different records. I think ours is 22, if I'm correct, set in the championship. And that was Walton. And then the Premier League, I think, is 15. And he's on 13, or is it 17 and he's on 15? One or the other, I think it was when I saw it. And that was Slonina, maybe? I don't know. No hat-tricks in this one, but two players scored 2 goals. So it's definitely still coming to fruition with the strikers. And they do seem to be in really good form right now. The one that was really not going great was Yamal. And even then, we did get him 4. Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting that we might actually be talked about now, because we've won the trophy last year. So, who gets the opportunity to dethrone us? Time to defend the cup. Real, Barca, Bayern, the 3 biggest clubs in world football. Big struggle to win it again. Come on, Jessica. Come on. And again, the top 3 are there. So, okay. Unseeded teams. Chelsea would be interesting. I think player for player, they're better than Villa, but definitely Villa seem to be having a much better season. Roma would be a little challenging, but okay, I feel. So I'd probably take those. I'd kind of put those 3 as my midpoint teams. Atletico Madrid, I would put over those 3. Barcelona's the worst team to get in this pot. You don't mind Galatasaray? You probably want Alkmaar the most, because we did look at young boys and they looked good, and they've been good for a couple of seasons. So let's get started. Imagine thinking we can win another one of these right now. They don't think the big 3 are going to take anything. They want Real Madrid. Winning isn't enough. Let's go back to back. Jayon, appreciate that. Ooh, like a Barca fan being pessimistic about Real, Bayern, and their own club. And no Real Madrid fan being a little pessimistic there. Whatever happened to the football? Well, you got to have the draw, and then you get the football. That's how it works, Killer. But no worries, son. Ooh, the biggest team. Give them Bayern Munich. Give them Bayern Munich or Real Madrid. Man City. Okay. Atletico Madrid. Ooh, we've gone for the biggest team, now the second biggest team. PSG. That's interesting. That is interesting. Aston Villa I feel like this is a pretty decent draw for us. I get Liverpool. Okay. An all English set up in the round of 16, not ours, but Galatasaray. Another good draw for us. If Bayern or Real get this, then I don't hold out much hope. Milan, Galatasaray might be able to do something against Napoli, maybe. Or is it going to be us? It is going to be us. It's not what I wanted. I wanted Alkmaar. And just for the fun of it, a trip to Switzerland would have been nice as well. But Turkey, that's fine. I can get my head down while I'm there. So Roma, Milan, all Italian in that one. That's, yeah. Oh, that's a fun one. The only two Italian teams in it, I think. They've both been paired at the 16. Alkmaar, who I kind of pegged as the weakest team. And it's the powerhouse of Italy, the powerhouse of Germany, and the powerhouse of Spain left in it. And of course is Madrid. Of course is Madrid. Young boys. Okay, so their reward is going to be Napoli or Bayern Munich. Not really an easy game in this entire thing. I'd say the way they've been playing, Man City might be the weakest seeded team. Maybe AC Milan. But they're both gone, of course. So Napoli, maybe? Yeah, it's Napoli. Italy and Swiss right on the border from one another as well. That could be an interesting matchup. And that gives us Chelsea versus Bayern Munich. It's going to be the draw. Galatasaray. Yeah, I do also feel that we did ask for a stadium that never got discussed. We asked them to build a new stadium. They never got back to us. We got a new board. I know I can't ask about the stadium. I'm sure I didn't get a response back. I was looking at this thing, 52, they got a lot more than us. We got like 36, 30... Yeah, 36. We didn't hear back. We just didn't hear back. Isak. Yeah, if I needed a striker, I could. I easily could. And he doesn't cost much. It doesn't cost much at all. Okay. That's fine. Okay, so supposedly I wanted a new deal. I wasn't going to give it to him. I decided I would. Yeah. Kind of had to give him extra assist bonuses and cup things. So I kind of tied down his appearance fee and money, and I was determined not to give him 200. I don't know why. I was determined to give him under 200 grand, and he went to like 220. So it was a little bit of a fight. I think I did quite well, really, to kind of round things out. And if he does get 20 assists, then sure, 880k for him. If he's in the team of the year, which he might be, there's an extra 425 for him. I just couldn't get it down to 400. I was really trying to round it out. And winning the Champions League would have been 6. So that would have been another million there. And this was supposed to be 100 grand and this was supposed to be 600, and it didn't quite work out. So I went 625, 125, and it still didn't work out. So I tried to round things out quite. I don't know why I tried to round things out when I blatantly just didn't round that to 200. But yeah, he wasn't happy with his deal, and he's happy. Gets his work permit. Everything's good. Immediately twists his knee and won't play against Burnley. It's suspicious timing. That's all I'm gonna say. Work permit, sign the deal, everything done. 6 minutes, and just a minute shy of 3 hours later. Yep. It's a fun one. It's definitely a fun one. And yeah, Champions League, very interesting result in as well. Villa came back from 2-1 down to beat Standard Liège in the last round, which I thought was just hilarious and like, you know, boy, what a comeback and all that. I thought that was absolutely phenomenal. And now in the round of 16, Man City just, 4-1 down after the first leg. They win 5-2. That means it's 6-all on aggregate. Dead and buried. And then they just don't really get their reward at the end of the day. Renato Sanchez, of all people, scores late on. Rangers gets the goal as well. Very late on then. It's kind of going kind of badly. Former player John Stones. Not kind of what you want, right? That's not kind of what you want. And then it all equalizes up if Firmin, the former Barcelona player, can score, and he can't. And just everything. They did absolutely everything. And it just didn't come. It just didn't come. They got the goal in the 95th minute to tie it up. 6-6. They give up the goal. They get it back. All fine. And then on penalties, like I say, John Stones scoring for Barcelona, Firmin missing for Man City, the former players. A little uneven with their contributions. And yeah, just that's nuts to me. That is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Villa also kind of got beat in 2 even legs against Liverpool. We beat Galatasaray fairly decently. No other really big games there, to be fair. The young boys almost overcome Napoli. Fair play to them. Kind of all goes as expected, right? Chelsea, okay. They weren't a top seed, but they're a very good club. They did knock out Bayern, one of the biggest clubs. And Barcelona, they knock out Man City, which, again, they weren't seeded, but they are one of the best clubs in the world, and they overcome Man City's enormous comeback. Apart from that, all the unseeded teams actually did get knocked out. So, as you'd expect, the quarterfinals drawn in, a week's time? I thought AC Milan and Napoli were drawn together. No, I forgot. Yeah, I said the 2 Italian teams, Roma and Milan. I forgot Napoli were in it at that point. I was conflating Napoli and Roma together for some reason. Yeah, okay. So we do still have 2 Italians, 2 Spanish, 2 English, a French, and a Welsh that plays in the English league. Let me take a little screenshot. A little floating screenshot that you can't see, I don't think, because the way OBS is set up.
but I can. That's good for me, because I can move a bunch of stuff around there. Like that. Oop, didn't really mean to do that. To be honest with you, I don't think I ever really realized that that was sortable. Okay. Yeah, AC Milan have been runners-up 4 times. Chelsea have been runners-up once. Barcelona have been runners-up 3 times. Liverpool have been runners-up 4 times. I don't know why I thought it said 5. My eyes are playing tricks with me there. Who else is still in this? PSG have been runners-up once. Real Madrid have been runners-up 4 times. And that means that the only teams that haven't been runners-up are ourselves, because we won the only one we've ever been in, and Napoli, who have never been there. We've won 1. Real are on how many? 16? I think 16? PSG won their only one, of course, last year. Napoli haven't won one. Liverpool have won their 6. Six? I thought they kept the trophy after 5. Yeah, of course they did, because number 6 was against Spurs. Yeah. Okay. Oh my god, my brain there almost shut down on me. Barcelona have actually won 6. Interesting. Chelsea have got their 2. And AC Milan have won 7. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Oh, I also think that if I'm right about my calculations, let's see, 64, 8 left to play, 24, 88. Yeah, basically goal difference. We win 2, we win the title. Unless we beat Burnley and Norwich and Brentford somehow beat Arsenal and Liverpool, we would technically, I think, win the league right now. So, gonna come back up to my game and see what happens there. Because Liverpool, like I say, have been dropping even more points lately. Not good for them. And Arsenal, well, they haven't left off yet. But, yeah, we are the best defense in the league by far. United have put 4 past us. Villa put 4 past us. Leeds have put 3 past us. But ultimately, that's a very, very healthy goals against record and clean sheet number. And then goals for, we've just been absolutely crazy, battering teams about. And even though Leeds have put 3 past us, we put 9 past them, for example. That's quite nice. 5 past Liverpool have only put 1 past us, and we've played them twice. I thought we'd beaten them 2-1. We did beat them 2-1. Did we beat them 3-0 earlier? We did. I don't remember that being 3-0. I remember that being 1-0 with the Harvey Elliott late goal. For some reason, I just wiped out a couple of goals earlier in that game, unless I'm thinking of a different one. That was the early one. That was the early one with Bergvall scoring against. I really thought that was 1-0. I don't know what I'm confusing there. But yeah, anyway, no matter what happens, Burnley, Bournemouth, 2 home games, 15th in the league, 17th in the league. We wrap up the title. So if it's not today, then it's very soon. Oh, we don't even need to get to our game. Arsenal did win, so the title isn't winnable today. But it does set us up for Bournemouth if we beat Burnley today. So that's fine. Liverpool, almost win it. Right at the death. But Elia kind of derails their title chance. Because, yeah, now we're a goal difference away. If we beat Burnley, goal difference overwhelmingly in our favour. We'd have to give up a 27 goal advantage in 7 games, 8 including this one. So, yeah, I don't really see that happening. Fulham are on a great tear as well. They're actually flying up the table now and closing in on Chelsea. Absolutely amazing. Norwich don't look great. Leeds don't look great right now. Forest have a little bit of fight, but are almost in trouble. Bournemouth we should beat next week, so that if Forest do win, that kind of gets them maybe a little glimpse at what might be. But to be fair, they have been the worst teams this season, and yeah, I wouldn't really complain that something weird has happened with those going down. I really wouldn't. But yeah, that's before we even get to our game. Was that draw? Well, it's our man again. Ferguson with a double. Yeah, I thought he'd kind of blown his chance of getting goal per game in the league again. But to be fair, he's kind of chipping in with the odd 1 goal here and there. It's very rarely does he play in and not score. And about the same clip as that, he gets 2 a game. So that would put him back to 1 a game and kind of keep him, I think, what was he, 20 and 28? Because he was 28 and 28 last season. After 28 this year, he was 20 goals. But yeah, there's been a few hat-tricks in there as well, which netting him a couple of others. So I haven't checked, but I think he should be kind of close. Victor Roque as well with another goal. Things look good. Ferguson, though, just great sort of first half. Gets the early goal. We give one back. He gets back and then should have completed the hat-trick twice. Doesn't quite get there. Kind of falls apart. Ferguson lays one back, which a defender to Victor Roque, which the defender kind of clears, and Humphreys just drills it. And then, yeah, I really thought he was going to get on the end of an Elliott cross, and he didn't. Kind of went over his head, and Victor Roque was there to nod in at the far post, which is, again, not kind of his game, but from not looking amazing at times, he's currently now got 6 goals in 7 games with 3 assists. And is just really having that first season sort of phenomenon out of the gate. That Pafundi had, that Mokoko to a certain extent had, selling those and getting Yamal in, and Yamal had. Now he sold Yamal. Evan Ferguson last season, he had this, and now Victor Roque's had this. And yeah, it kind of, if you got the right tactics and you got the right team to build up in certain ways, then I would say that you can definitely just keep swapping out strikers every year or two. You'll probably be in a really good position if you do that. And Evan Ferguson, I think he's going to be 3 shy. I was going to say 2 shy, but I think he might be 3 shy of even. Oh, he's more than that. He's more than that. He's 6 shy. Which is only 3 hat-tricks. A goal in 5 games. Or a goal in 4 games. Or four goals in 4 games, basically. 1 a game is what I'm saying, for 4 games. And the other 3 hits a hat-trick. And that will get him up to where he is back to a goal a game. But yeah, overall, a couple more games, sure, but like 3 games more, 3 assists more, 3 goals less, but same high rating. It's not quite the heights that we hit last season. That again, that first season bump really does seem to be something to keep an eye on. But he's damn close. He is damn close. Coxall is scoring at a pretty good clip. That's 3 and 5, basically. As we saw, 6 and 7 for Vitor Roque. Kennedy is 8 and 15, so he's over 1 every other. And Lamine Yamal he was 7 and 16, so he's almost 1 every other. Since he's gone to Liverpool, as expected, he hasn't been playing up front. He's still natural up front, and that will continue to decay, I feel. But yeah, 1 in 7, 3 assists. Definitely not that first season. But even then, that was just over 1 in 2. That was just under 1 in 2. That was just under 1 in 2. So as good as he was, everyone I've got is scoring at the same rate or better than he was. I feel like I made the right move there. 6 million could sell for probably 50 plus. Loath to do it, but I might do it. But yeah, so Ferguson, I thought he was closer than that. If both of these had gone in, then he would be, 4 shy? Which would only be 2 games of getting a hat-trick. So, yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. But Liverpool thought they won it. Brentford get a late goal. Chiesa, again, another late winner for Liverpool. Nope. Elia, great. Tottenham do win it late on. It's absolutely nuts. Like, Ipswich are 3-0 up. And then the last 5-10 minutes of the game, Zaniolo, Xhaka's own goal, Fernandes, and then Tail to get the winner at the death. Just crazy. Absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, no real craziness in it per se. Villa are out the top 6 for the first time in ages. Oh my god. And Man City looking to close the door. If they win this game and then win their game in hand over them, City, who have had a disappointing season, could be climbing back up to within a point of Brentford. By the end of the year, they could easily be 6th, maybe even 5th, and they've had a really bad year. Villa have just been sitting up here for a long time, and though they're bouncing around a little bit. Man City, really poor, doing okay, coming good, coming alive in Europe in this period too. So whatever has gone on, did they change manager at that point? No. Company's still there. I don't know, something changed. Something's flipped with Man City. They didn't get the win over Villa though, but yeah. It's very tight in those positions. Very tight. So these all the games? No, because Brentford still have a game as well. So Newcastle, Brentford, Man City, Chelsea, Everton, Leeds. Everton, Leeds, Brentford, Chelsea. Unbeaten run of 30, 17 in a row. Was it 17, I think, in a row? Pretty happy with that. I don't know how I could be unhappy with that in any way, shape, or form. Canelli's got his 4th star back. Okay. Fabio's got full English. Everton win. That does keep the pressure on Leeds at the bottom. 88th minute from Son. In fact, Edozie gives them the lead at half hour. 10 minutes from time, Lokonga. And then Son, 2 minutes from time, takes Everton well clear to the point where, realistically, they're probably safe already. Because to overcome them, basically you're asking Forest to win 4 matches and draw 3 and not lose any to catch Everton. So, yeah, they're probably safe. Fulham, Burnley, not quite, but in a week or two probably will be safe. And Bournemouth, not that long after that. There might only be 3 or 4 games left to play. I don't think this goes down to the final day. It might do. I don't feel it does. And that's only for Forest too. Leeds, it's not looking great. Norwich, it's really not looking good for them either. Oh, youth intake average. Only 1 5-star. It's not a striker. It is a goalie. Top talents. There is a striker. There's a Dutch centre mid who doesn't look amazing. Another centre back that we really don't need. And to be fair, Neil Wilson might be able to play as a striker. Ben Nash can play as a striker. Mamadou Gomez. Senegalese is wild. We've got a Dutch feeder club. I understand that one. I don't know where Senegalese comes in. Gibraltar and a couple of Spanish. Did we get a Spanish club? Yes, I did. I got Almeria. Okay. Yeah, no real Swedes coming through. Or Portuguese. We've had a couple of Dutch. We had a couple of South Koreans. I think we've had 1 Japanese, 1 Australian. Don't think we've had any Americans. Senegalese, Portuguese? Maybe? I think we're maxed out on affiliate clubs, to be honest with you. I don't think the game's going to allow us to have any more. Yeah, I'm kind of interested in this. What's he like? He's okay. He's a mercenary. Okay, he's maybe not okay. I know he's English, so okay. Yeah, I don't know where he's come from. And Gibraltar, I mean, that is British anyway, really, but he's got his Welsh passport, so. Okay, inconsistent. 5'2". Yeah, if he had potential, I could probably make that one work. But it doesn't look like there's tons here, so I'm gonna sign everybody. I was gonna say I'm gonna sign everyone like 2.5 star to a contract, but like there's no point. I got a left winger, right winger, neither are gonna play. I got a right back who could be backup, but just isn't gonna be good enough, and a striker who again isn't gonna be good enough. It's got a winger turned striker, a centre back, a centre midfielder, another striker, and a goalkeeper. And of those, really, centre back, striker, goalie, probably the only ones worth keeping around. That's a little disappointing. I mean, that's more than a little disappointing. I've got to be honest with you. I don't know. Maybe Shane's good. Maybe the goalie's good. Kind of needed a good right back. Maybe Ryan Williams is that. Needed a couple of good strikers, a good right back. That was kind of really what we were looking at. We might have got the strikers. We might have got the right back. Also got another centre midfielder we didn't need. Okay. Okay, yeah. Yeah, retraining you to play striker is going to be difficult. Young enough. He is young enough. Got some really decent stats again. That's fine. He's professional. Doesn't have anything really bad. He's quite consistent. Doesn't have top end potential. Yeah, retraining him is going to be difficult. Are you a centre back or you please be a right back? Give me 5'8", tons of pace. That's not him. That's not him. Okay. 9 for heading, but yeah, 6'7", 16 jumping. That ain't bad. Spirited I quite like. 6'7". And again, it's consistent. It's good, he's not bad, and he's got time. I'm not looking for much on a central midfield. Oh my god, he's... Okay, he doesn't have the physicals, but like I just scanned Journey, I'm like, oh my god, he's very well rounded. It's like, maybe... Yeah, maybe not. But as a backup, again, consistent. Oh my god. I love this. This isn't actually that bad of a... I think Spirited, hold on, what was Wilson? Yeah, professional, spirited. Shane, I need a striker, man. I need a striker. Please look like a striker. Finishing of 12 or above, anticipation, off the ball, first touch, dribbling, heading, jumping, acceleration, pace. Yeah, double figures. Not much more than that. High determination. Oh, no jumping. Okay. Which isn't the worst in the world. Resilient, again, that's a really nice personality type. 5'10", a little shorter than I want. Definitely not good in the air. Not a hold-up player. Not a bad finisher with a decent first touch. Good physicality for 15. And double figures in a lot of stuff that I like. Almost double figure in composure. Very consistent. And no bad cons. Yeah, I mean, he's unlikely to be a starter just because of who else we've got there. But definitely a bench player. Definitely a sales candidate for Wilson. Bench player for Richardson. Shane could be on the bench long term. And I mean, to be fair, we've got a goalie, so we don't need you to be much, Tyreek. But you are the best talent. And yeah, okay. He doesn't look bad. He doesn't look amazing. Was he 6'6"? Okay. 13 jumping, 13 aerial, 11 handling. Not great one-on-ones, but 14 reflexes. Anticipation, decision making, determination, positioning. Jumping's decent. I wouldn't say that's bad at all either. We don't need him to be a starter. He could just be a backup. Really like my goalkeeper. Okay, Ben Nash. Any hope for you? Highly loyal's not great. Determination. Physicals aren't bad. 8 finishing. Don't think he's going to make it. We looked at Gomez already, right? Julian Owen at right back, fairly sporting. Yikes, physicals aren't there. Don't think so. Mattox is the right winger. Yeah, acceleration, pace, and not much else. And ambitious. I can just do it here rather than going back and forth and having to scroll all the time. Fickle. No pace. That's a shame. No pace or acceleration, and fickle. Apart from that, if he had potential, he could have been pretty good as a future right back, maybe. Gareth Owen, striker or midfielder, you're definitely a midfielder, you're unambitious. Okay. Ross Mercer is unambitious. Wow. There's a lot of unambitious players coming through. Low determination. You're not wrong. There's not much high, but Sam Kerr's low determination. Montgomery is balanced. Looks okay, actually. Not worth the headache to convert. And another fullback, low determination, doesn't look amazing. Yeah, I'm not going to sign those. I'll sign Wilson, but I think we're going to end up selling him. I gotta be honest, I just think I just don't see another way around that. I just don't think he's good enough. Everyone else just gets kind of basic rounded contracts. I can probably go down here. I just give him a ton more money up front. Joel. I'll just give you a youth contract for now. Yeah, so the only ones that had good personalities were the one with potential anyway. And they were all semi-consistent. Okay. Absolutely fine. It does just kind of suck, though. Best one through is a goalie. The strikers aren't really good enough. Five players signed. Someone to convert to striker, but is ultimately going to get sold. A bench centre back, or the tallest right back you've ever seen in your life. A bench centre midfielder, a bench striker,
And even our 5-star, probably just a bench goalkeeper. It kind of is what it is. Right. 2, 3, 4, 5. Was it 5 we signed? Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it kind of sucks. I'd like to sign more of them, but there's just really no point. I think I'm only getting rid of 5 or 6. And so there's Williams and Woodthorpe already. I do feel he might be able to be good, but just personalities and everything not really going to work out for me at all there. Canelli getting called up would be fine. Ferguson up for a day or two. That's fine. We don't have any matches. So what do we got? 2 in. We got 3 left to sign. Do they show up on the transfer list? They might. Yeah, they do. Absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Yes, we've got those 2 in, 3 to come in. It's not the best youth academy graduates that we've had. I think it's better than last year. I will say that I think it's better. Did I just promote someone to the first team? Griffiths again. Oh my god, last time he was pissed that I did this, and now, without thinking, I'm doing it again. Do I just commit to it? Do I just commit to it? I might just commit to it. I might just commit to it. Let me clear that. Let me set him as unavailable for loan. It's a shame Man City aren't still interested. I'll very happily take 73 for Carbone. How much have we paid? 12? 16? 12. 12 and a half. Yeah, he was good in that season. He was pretty good that season too. This season, solid, but has been ousted. I think we just send. And he's happy to go. Okay, yeah, no, I think that works out for me. In that case, make sure you're still unavailable for loan. You're transfer listed, all good. Your surplus requirement, and you're out of the first team squad. That's perfectly fine for me. So I didn't really want to bring Luke Griffiths up, but there's been multiple news items where he's been thinking about being called up to the England squad, and not quite. It doesn't quite look like it's ready for him. And then Spurs wanted him on loan, and we turned that down. Then Spurs seemed to want him on transfer, loan to buy, and we bumped up his money, his transfer value, to the point where they were no longer interested.
And then I believe he's had a new deal since that point. And so no calling him up, just it seems to fit that quite well. We get rid of Carbone for him. We'll make even more money on Carbone. Hopefully. I think Wilson. Yeah, I think that's it. Ooh, Ryan Williams has gone up since he signed. Oh, it's a centre-back. I don't need the other centre-back. I thought that was a striker. All of these are rated higher than they were. No, well, no. The 5-star still a 5-star. I think Joe was a 4-star. No, I think he was 3.5. I don't know. I got rid of a 3-star I kind of like, but no, he was a mercenary. Did we just misjudge them? But nobody else was close enough anyway? Are these just going to get downgraded in a week or two again anyway? Probably. I don't remember him looking any different. Yeah, no, he looks really good until you get to the physicals. That's right. Shane is good. Yeah, Ryan's a monster who can't head or mark, and I'd love him to be a fullback, but he's not really looking like a fullback. And Tyreek is just promise and nothing else. Okay, that's fine. Whatever it is, it is. So, yeah, no seeds here. I think just everybody is still here, right? So, yeah, Madrid fell at the last hurdle. Luke wants it to start the draw. Swans are winning against. Only positivity, previous disappointments be gone. Who do Madrid get? Big fan of cup draws. Always have to give it a go for the Swans. Madrid, one more Champions League treat. Madrid for the Champions League trophy. Tina, enjoy the memories while win while you can. It's about to get a lot more disappointed. Hashtag Swans. Come on. This is our time, UEFA Champions League. Like, who are you a fan of? I wish it would say somehow. So Xavi, live from Athens. Barcelona. Almost undone by Man City. They get Paris Saint-Germain, the French masterclass. And oh, Pep is at PSG. Nice little matchup. Liverpool. Very solid. Can they play Yamal? I don't know. I thought that might be the case, though. And maybe he can play. Ooh, that quarterfinal just got slightly interesting. That leaves us AC Milan, Real Madrid. Good. I didn't want them to have Napoli and Chelsea. Okay. Not the worst draw in the world. Not the worst draw in the world. Barca, PSG will meet Liverpool, Swansea. Okay, so yeah, probably the most difficult semi-final draw we could have gotten, and probably mid kind of caliber quarterfinal. I didn't want Real Madrid, Barcelona, or PSG. Chelsea and Liverpool, at least we're used to playing. Napoli and Milan, I don't think are top tier. And so
could have done with those as well. I think I would have coped quite well with those two and the two English clubs. That's fine. So yeah, Liverpool's not a bad one. The Yamal factor does worry me. And then to have to go through PSG or Barcelona in the semi is a little rough, and maybe get a repeat of last year's final then against Real Madrid. Yeah. Last season, also in the quarters, see, we put out Liverpool. And that booked us a semi-final against PSG and the final against Real Madrid. Now we've got the quarterfinal against Liverpool, potentially a semi-final against PSG, potentially a final against Real Madrid. Might as well do that draw there because, yeah. I wonder if we're going to get the same as we did last season. I do wonder, are we going to get the same as last season? Quarterfinal, semi-final, and final. We do get to go there first and get the job done. That makes April look almost as crazy as January and February. Yeah, we can win the league against Bournemouth. We can win the league against Bournemouth. And then really focus in on Liverpool home and away. Even if it's not mathematically sealed after a win against Bournemouth, we can rotate quite heavily and put a B team or a young team out against Brentford, and even just stealing a draw there would definitely be enough with a win at Bournemouth to win the league. Which then allows us to concentrate on the quarterfinal for West Ham, ignore the rest of the Premier League fixtures, really focusing in then on the FA Cup semi-final, final, and the Champions League semi-final, final, to claim everything. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. So I think I'm just going to go towards the end of the season, and in the next video, the live com might be probably not even the game to win the title, because it's almost academic at this stage. It really is. We won it with 89 points last year, 80 the year before. So it's 84, 87, 80, 89. We've already got 85. We only need 4 more to equal the top total in game so far. And the next 2 home games are Bournemouth and Brentford at home, which we should win both. So, yeah, we should get over 90 points without that much of an issue. So I think it's an interesting live com to do either of those, really. If we needed to, that Arsenal game could be interesting, but I'd rather just play through all of these. Play through the FA Cup semi-final and the Champions League semi-final and come back for these 2 cup finals and live com double header to end this season and try and get a perfect season in terms of trophies. Win the league, win the Carabao Cup, Community Shield, UEFA Super Cup, FA Cup. We're almost at our goal of semi-final, to be fair. We've made our quarter-final of the Champions League, which was our goal. Yeah, we've got these 3 in. West Ham, a repeat of the Carabao Cup final. Shouldn't be that difficult for us. We should get that win. And then, if we don't get City or Arsenal, instead we got Chelsea, Forest, Spurs, or Reading,
quite fancy that semi-final, even with not our first team, to set up a final possibly against Chelsea or Arsenal or Man City in the final. I think that's fine. And Joe, like I say, I've got a feeling it's possibly going to be Liverpool, PSG, Real Madrid, same as last year, to repeat the Champions League for us. So yeah, I think that's what we do. We come back at that point and we see if we can actually get the sextuple, or more commonly it would be kind of probably referred to as a quadruple, just because people don't like to count a couple of those. So yeah, we are top 3 right now. Transfer budget of 292, wage budget's going to be a 4.1 million. We're currently spending 3.2, so they want us to add another third to our wages, and they're giving us 300 million to do it. Our balance has gone down by like 50 million. But we've made a huge profit this season. So I don't know where all this money's gone. I don't know where that's gone. They're not building a stadium, are they? I don't think I've had any news out there. I mean, it wouldn't have started yet, and I don't know where that money's gone. That's like 250 million kind of disappeared there. Answers on a postcard if you know. Leave a comment down in the section down below. Like and subscribe while you're there, and I think, like I say, this is a good place to leave it off. We've got 2 weeks for our next game. Everything kind of looks good right now. We're on course to win absolutely everything if things kind of go our way. Can we not like take a week off for like winter break or whatever? Is that not an option? I guess we're not technically in winter anymore, but still. This is a perfect time to take a week off. Okay. It is what it is. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. And we'll be back for potential Champions League, FA Cup finals as we try and win it all. Should be an entertaining double header of live comms like last season was for the Premier League title and then the Champions League. But like I say, the 3 minor trophies already in. We're well on course to win the league. We should get at least to a semi-final of the FA Cup and maybe give ourselves a chance to win that one for the first time in our history. And also follow up with 3 Champions League titles in a row, 2 Champions Leagues in a row, with our first FA Cup, and take 6 trophies home for a proper quadruple. That could be happening next one. So come back for that. Check out the other playlist memberships available on the channel. 1,000 subscribers. Really do appreciate the support. Thank you very much for the continued support, as always, on this and all the other series. And I'll see you next time. Till then, take care, stay safe, all the best. And if you've got any questions about how to break FM like this, then yeah, hit me up. I'm more than happy to discuss tactics, transfers, training, staff, mentoring, dynamics, mentality battles. I think I've just basically named anything that has any influence over your side, really. If I haven't included something, then you can probably ignore it. Board requests, I guess I could go over something with those. Different types of board as well. And really what you're looking for on board, I could discuss that. So if you want to know about that, that's another topic there. But if any of those interest you or anything else, feel free to ask. I'll be happy to dive in with a separate video and we'll get everybody breaking FM. And then as a whole community, we can go hammer and tong, tooth and nails, and rip FM26 apart and just see who can do the best. Like maybe even set up a challenge. If you've got any ideas for a challenge, one season, one club, let's say maybe for the first week of the game's released or whatever, so that no mods, no editors, no pre-game editors, no in-game editors, no save file editors if they exist, like no scouting tools, no scouting shortlists, etc. But like one season, and just for bragging rights, who can do the best with a club in that time period? And can I either match or beat you? I think that'll be an interesting way to start FM26 as well. So, yeah, if you've got any other ideas for it or any ideas for clubs to do something like that with, hit me up. Let's get into it. But I'll see you next time. Like I say, big games still to come. Few things left to really break down in this game. It's early September. We've almost completely demolished FM24. It took like half the seasons I thought it would. And yeah, it's really just waiting for the Club World Cup. If we hit everything this season, I think, maybe an invincible season. Any other challenges, let me know with that too, but it's been fun. It's been fun. So, we'll see if we can finish it in style. I'll see you there for it.